before we look at the bucks, let's take a little look at some of the babies over here because they are so big, some of them. Look at the size of that baby. That's that big boy right there. I think the one I saw earlier. But look at some of the others and look off over there. There's Split Ear. I want you to looky there at Split Ear. We thought last week that she might have had twins. Split Ear is nursing. Is that Split Ear? That is? I don't know if that's Split Ear or not. I'm not sure, but she was nursing 3 babies. Three were nursing on her right there. And I think she has twins. And I got to check. I got to just walk down there and check and see if that's Split Ear because I think it is. You have to get up kind of close for it. It is. That's Split Ear. And there's Split Ear's babies right there. And they were nursing. And some of you have been telling me I need to get those babies at the house off the milk. Well, Split Ear is still feeding hers. And those are her twins right there. Sure as the world, and maybe 3. There, she made 3 of those. Did you have triplets? Did you have triplets, Split Ear? There's 4 little babies right there, and 3 of them were nursing on her just a second ago. 3 of them. And you look around, you see all the babies over here. Look, panned right over here, and you see just how big those babies are getting. They're just absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely. Oh, don't you be chewing on that wire. That wire's already messed up anyway. Not hooked up to anything. But you take a look right there, you see how big those babies are getting. We've got a lot of them. We're going through a lot of South Fresh food right now. I mean, a lot of it. The babies are eating the food. The babies can reach the demand feeders now, our Texas Center demand feeders. And so they're eating and they're growing just like crazy. And even in this 100-degree, everybody is looking good. I want to knock on wood when I say that. And there is Split Ear's precious little babies right there. At least 2, maybe 3. Now I believe that baby deer will probably sometimes not be too particular about where they get their dinner, but the mamas are awfully particular about who is messing around with them. So I'm thinking that that one deer might have just been trying to steal a little milk there, but it's very possible that all 3 of those, because one of them was a lot tinier than the other 2, which would have a tendency to believe that it was a triplet. We have had no does die, so there's not any orphans out here at all. We've had, you know, we got our 3 at the house that were not being taken care of and were dying that we rescued, but we haven't had any does die. Our does are all here, so we've had 1 or 2 get a little sick. We've doctored them and kept them alive. But when you look around and some of those, that one boy back there toward the back of that pen, it's just, look at the size of him. That guy right back there, look at the size of that deer. And that's a buck. The bucks are beginning to outpace the does as far as size, like which they will. Of course, the bucks get much, 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 much larger. So Split Ear more than likely has twins. We had that same scenario happen when we shot this video the other day. So I'm thinking that Split Ear has twins. And that's going to be real cool for sure. Looks like she's got a little buck and a little doe. We had some zoomies going right there, but they ran up to me and stopped. I want to get over here right now and see if we can get a real good look at Gumball. And let me tell you the story that I learned about Gumball. If I can remember the numbers. We know that Forrest is 04, 2004. That means he's born in the year 2020. 2-year-old deer. We know that number 4, it means that he was the 4th deer born that year. This deer here is number 10. If you do some searching and looking, and if I was to be able to get up real close, I should be able to show you that is 2010. That is the deer that came back in the pen that had lost his antlers, and we thought it was simply another doe that we had trapped back in here. And it wasn't a doe at all. It was this deer right here. So we named him Gumball. Just because I kind of like the name Gumball. You can see Whitey back there behind. You see Whitey's a much heavier deer, much larger deer. And some of you talked about thinking he had a growth on the front of him right there. I was just finished telling you the story about Gumball here, but I'm up so close. And it's not a growth at all. That's simply his chest. That is his chest right there. We got a big doe or 2 that has a big chest just exactly like that. He's just a big old fat boy. But let's get back and talk about Gumball here. That deer, you try to get a shot and get the number. That deer, according to Tim Burdett, and I'm going to take his word for it, is 2010. 2010 was on our porch last year and year before last with Chris as a baby. He was up there last year, and it's Snoopy. That's right, 2010 is Snoopy. Snoopy only had 3 points last year, a spike on one side and 2 points on the other. And if that is indeed Snoopy, according to Tim Burdett, it is. He's checked the numbers of Snoopy, and it's 2010. We can't change those numbers. Once we put those numbers on there, they're there. The only way that it would happen is they rip their ears out or something, get the tag caught, and rip it out, and the tag disappears. But that tag is what we put on them when they're a day or two old, and that deer is Snoopy. So those of you that think that a deer that has spikes or a little 2-point or 4-point or a little basket 6 or 8 or something is never going to amount to anything, that deer right there will prove to you differently. Now, hopefully he might get around here where we can turn around. I'd like to get a shot of that tag in his ear. I don't know if we get it or not, but get a shot of that tag if he'd kind of look the right direction. We just about see it right there. I'm zoomed in all the way, relatively close, and he won't turn around just right, but and when he turns his ear. They use that ear, they turn those ears around to the right and to the left to be able to hear. But you can see he is a beautiful, beautiful boy. There's only a 3-point, so that is Snoopy, a.k.a. Gumball, or Gumball, a.k.a. Snoopy. Thank you so much, Tim, for spending the time and effort. Tim told me he used to be a deer hunter, hunted them all the time, and now he's just simply a bass fisherman. He loves to go out and sit in the woods and just watch the deer, and likes to watch these videos every week and watch this. But that will be a difference from a spike that had 2 on one side and 1 on the other side. Most others just simply call him a 3-point or a spike. The difference in that and going into this in his 2nd year horns. He's just 2-year-old, born in 20, so right here in 22, he's 2 years old. So that is the big surprise this week. That is Snoopy. That's the guy that would snoop around up on the porch, come up there and try to steal food when nobody was looking. We never was able to pet him or anything. And that's one of his little buddies there. That's a little buck. When bucks will get around the bucks, isn't that precious? Look at him licking on him. And they're licking on each other. The little baby buck's licking on the antlers, and the big buck is licking on, isn't that something? That's so precious to see that happen. And yet, there'll come a time when he would fight that little buck to the death for a doe. And that time is not too far in the future, a few months away. But for right now, they're buddies. Another little buck right there coming up to him. I think that is Split Ear's son right there. And Whitey is their daddy. That's not their daddy there. That's Snoopy, a.k.a. Gumball. And if any of y'all are doubting Tim Burnett, check him out. But he said that Snoopy had a 2010, and that deer has 2010. It's really hard to tell the way those tags are. But that's it. So let's take a look at the big boy on the block, which is Whitey. He's got severe competition this year from Prince Charming, which we'll look at a little bit later. Okay, there he is. As is his deal, once you start talking about him, he has a tendency to want to come and look at you and show off. I think that's what he does. He knows he's a biggin, and he's showing it off. When in doubt, that's right. Now, I'm telling you, he is just absolutely beautiful. He just got a picket fence on both sides. They're long, they're big around, and he's got some split brow tines, and he's just absolutely a prize. And just think about the genetics that big boy is carrying. Every little spotted boy you see in here have that genetics. Every little spotted girl has that genetics. And in deer, the girls are just as important to the boys as far as the genetics. So you can have a doe that's out of him that breeds to a local whitetail deer here on the ranch. And look at that. He's right up here close to us. You can almost feed him. Chris fed him a lot of carrots and apples by hand when he was little. Him and Bazooka, his brother. But look at that right there. He is just absolutely, and he kind of likes people. You can see he's just not very wild at all. He's going to rub his horns a little bit there. We got post in here for them to rub on, so they'll be able to rub all that velvet off of. But he just likes that because it feels good on him right now. They're still quite a ways away from rubbing all that off, but again, it happens in a hurry. It won't be too awful long, but you just see what a magnificent animal he really has become. And hopefully he makes it through this summer. Like I said, we've done a huge job on the flies, and hopefully those little minions, the little gnats that come in and lay in their eggs in their noses and cause them to, those eggs start growing and suffocates them and kills them. And it's just such a terrible, terrible thing to have happen. But you can see he's just absolutely beautiful. You can look at him going away. He looks just as good as when he's coming toward you. Just an incredible, incredible deer. Now baby Split Ear just come up and said, Jimmy, did you miss just one carrot? Did you miss a carrot? She just comes up wanting to be loved on. So that's taking a look at Gumball, aka Snoopy. And we might just have to totally call him Snoopy if that's the name he had to begin with. That's his not God-given name, that's his Jimmy given name or Chris given name. I think Chris might have called him Snoopy because he was sort of just snooping around up there. But that's Whitey, Big Whitey. His son, we have one of his boys at the house, and he's just turned into quite a lover, and he just loves Chris to death. And he loves the girls, so he's probably going to be a good one when he gets big enough to chase four-legged girls instead of two-legged girls. Okay, we saved the best for last, and here he is right here, Prince Charming. Prince Charming, just beautiful Prince Charming. I don't have a tremendous amount of carrots. I don't know if Snow White's going to come up here and eat or not. She's just awful nervous when I get in the pen, and I think that's just her mama instinct taking care of those babies. But we got Prince Charming right here, and you take a great look at these giant antlers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on that one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At least 10 on that side. Just absolutely gorgeous. And he just might be the biggest bull on the planet. He is a big boy. And the only thing we don't have is we don't have any white does for this fall. You know, Jimmy, I mean, I don't know what I might do there. I might find you a girlfriend. Or, here you go, little baby. Here you go, baby. Here you go, buddy. Oh, little ice come up. Come on, baby. Come on up here. Come on. Oh, she come up here. She smelled the carrot, come all the way up, and ate it, and then took off running. But she wanted that carrot so badly. Here she comes again. No. How about you, Casper? You want one? The little babies are eating the carrot. I fed her some carrots earlier, so it's not like that. It's not like she doesn't get any. I feed these guys some every single day. They really, sure enough, are a little spoiled. Well, she's just nervous when I'm in here with those babies, and you know, I'm not in here with the babies. She's fine. There you go. She'll come and get that one for sure. I don't have very many, but I wanted mainly just to get a real good look at what he looked like here. And this is a good close-up look right there. I don't know how you can get any better than that. Take a good look at him there. Oh my goodness, he's just a big boy. And we have got a post. If you'll notice, if you look back there, you'll see a post in the background. That's a big cedar post back there, big around. He's going to lick on me a little bit and rubbing his nose on my arm. He just, he's trying to get in that bag. He wants to get in Susan's bag. Susan sent Chris and I a couple more bags for our birthday. Look at him. Oh, you are something. I think he's trying to charm me. Prince Charming is trying to charm me into more carrots. He's going to give me a little love and lick on me a little bit. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? You are such a pretty boy. Well, it's 94 degrees. It's 94 degrees. It is 8:30 in the evening. 94 degrees. Can you believe that? 94 degrees at 8:30 in the evening. And it's just, but the wind finally quit blowing. It finally quit blowing, so we might have some of this audio that's not too bad. You just kind of have to bear with me a little bit. Hopefully by next week we will have some new wires in. Some of them weren't supposed to ship for about 10 days. We ordered wires from 2 different people. Hopefully we get a little bit better quality wire than what came with that mic. I can't remember the brand name of that, but don't want to say anyway because it's got a major problem in that one component of it. Other than that, it works really great. I mean, they're inexpensive mics. They're not nearly like what we use shooting Jimmy Houston Outdoors television. But they work great. It hooks up to the iPhone just fine, and it sounds great when it's working, but for no reason at all, they just quit. The wires are just so tiny in there, I believe. They just need to use a little bit larger wires. And if they use a little bit bigger wires, they'd probably last a little bit. It just takes any kind of little crink or something in there, kink in it, or you get it in a little bind or something. It seems like it messes those wires up. And it's either, I can show you what it is. It's either this wire right here, which is just simply wire that's got 2 ends on it that change 2 to 3 coming out of the microphone. And then you have to put a little dongle on the end of it. I have the dongle also, a little short dongle, costs about $8 or $9 for that little bitty piece, which is crazy. But a little bitty piece right there, and that's the piece that messes up quite a bit. But I've bought a brand new one of those, and I still didn't have any audio. So this piece right here we've got ordered right now, and we'll be getting it in and be able hopefully to have good audio for a while until we wear those wires out. But guys and girls, it's been a great week out here watching the deer antlers grow. It's amazing to find out about Gumball being Snoopy and going from a 3-point to what he is up there right now, which is magnificent, which ought to tell some of you deer hunters that are watching. I know we have a lot of deer hunters watching this. When you see those little spikes, those little 4-points, those little basket 6s and 8s, and that's their first horns, let them go if you can. Let them go if you can. Most states have very liberal limits for does, so you can get plenty of deer meat. You can get all the deer meat you want. Most places, there's way more does than there are bucks. I hear we probably have more bucks than we have does. But there are more does available just about everywhere, so you can get you plenty of deer meat and then just hunt for that trophy buck. And if you'll do that, guys and girls, if you'll do that, you will begin to have more and more and more large bucks throughout the year. We don't really hunt this ranch too awful much. You know, my kids, my grandkids, my partner and his grandkids hunt it. And we don't take many deer at all because we only take really big, giant, mature bucks, and that's all. And so we let deer walk, deer after deer after deer. And the genetics keep getting better and better and better. And so you begin to have lots and lots of big deer running around. And we've got some deer running around on this ranch that will make Snoopy or Gumball and Whitey. Yeah, that's right. Deers like that. And it's hard when you see them out at a distance because they're just totally wild. It's hard when you see them out at a distance to know if they've got a tag in their ear or not. You got to get them up pretty close, and you can tell that during hunting season because you get deer up close. But it's difficult to really know whether you have a tag in that deer, or that deer was born in the wild. And my little precious white deer slipped right up here behind me. Listen to me talk. Hey, Casper, Ice. Tell them all that you love them. Guys and girls, Casper and Ice loves you, and I sure do too. Have a great one.